I'm here on the Oregon coast. I just got my first set of coordinates and they brought me to Garibaldi. It's just one battle after another. One false step. And down you go. Now, every checkpoint that I reach today raises money for the Big Brother Big Sister organization. I've got something for you guys. These checkpoints do not come easy. It's going to be extreme. And all of this is happening right now on the wildlife. This is single-handedly the most extreme thing I have ever done in my life. And this is the view from the top of Monkey Fish. The most prehistoric fish that we can even think of right now. And that's how it's done! That is one big Dungeness crab. All over the place. That's all I can do just to hang on. This is the wildlife.
The Wildlife is presented by Next Adventure.
My first set of coordinates have led me here to Garibaldi, and if the forecast is right, this early morning rain is only a taste of what's in store for me today, so it should be wet and wild. And I am almost to my first set of coordinates. To start this geocache, I was given a set of dynamic coordinates, which means my first checkpoint has a start location that will eventually lead to an end location. The first group of coordinates have taken me to Garibaldi Marina. It's sending me right on the other side of this bay, so I'm only a couple hundred feet away right now. Today, each checkpoint I reach raises money for Big Brothers Big Sisters, so time is of the essence. My coordinates are taking me right to the end of the dock. Yep. Now I know where there was 2 sets of coordinates. Here's my ride. I'll plug in my second set and find out where my final destination is. Time to suit up. Sometimes all a young person needs is one extra friend to help him or her steer through life. That's the belief with Big Brothers Big Sisters, an organization that matches kids like Julian with an adult volunteer like his big Zachary.
Zachary Etzel's my big brother. I've known him for about just a little bit over a year now. Yeah, we do pretty awesome stuff together.
I remember the first day that I was going to meet him, and I was like super nervous, and I'm sure he was super nervous, and so there's this really awkward situation at first where you're like, hey, and they're like, hey, and so you're like, well, I guess this is, so we're matched, huh? And it's just like this really, really sort of awkward moment. Now to look back at that is kind of a funny thing.
Well, I am a single parent, and we recently relocated from California to Portland. Julian left all of his friends behind. So I decided to go with the Big Brother Big Sister program and get Julian involved so that he could meet friends and gain some new experiences.
We'd already been in Portland for like about 6 months when I got my big brother, so I did know a few people, but this it helped a bunch.
He is a preteen who is living in a house full of girls. And though I did not grow up in that situation, I can imagine that there are times where he feels a little outnumbered and a little overwhelmed.
Living in a family with like all girls pretty much. I haven't really had a guy, like kind of, I wouldn't say father figure, but I would say like just kind of like friend-ish to hang out with since then, really. It's helped just to have a good friend that would be down to do stuff, you know, it's just really nice.
I've got my next set of coordinates in here. I'm dressed and ready to roll, and I know that my next checkpoint is 3 miles across the bay. So I got some ground to cover, or some water to cover. My second group of coordinates is going to take me southwest, across Tillamook Bay, towards the shores of Bay Ocean Peninsula, where my first checkpoint is hiding. I'm ready to kick this jet ski into top speed and get moving across the bay to raise money for Big Brothers Big Sisters. As soon as I got on the jet ski, bad weather started rolling in and it started to rain. So I had to drive directly into the wind and rain, and I didn't have a mask or goggles. As I'm riding across the bay on this jet ski, the waves start building up, the wind starts blowing, and I couldn't keep my eyes open. I had to squint, which made it really hard to navigate. When it's just torrential, you can't see anything. With coastal weather changing by the minute, I'm hoping the rain and wind don't increase, putting a halt on my geocache. Coming up on the wildlife. A couple of big waves started pushing me, and I caught one wave right at the last moment. I just started getting pounded by wave after wave.
The Wildlife is presented by Next Adventure.
I'm in Tillamook Bay, closing in on my first checkpoint. The weather has taken a bad turn, and I'm being bombarded by rain and wind. Now, with my first checkpoint nearby, my jet ski is bottoming out on the sandbars in the bay. As soon as I got within about a mile of my checkpoint, the bay got too shallow, so I had to anchor out my jet ski way out in the bay, get off, and wade through the water to get to my first checkpoint. Trudging through waist-deep water while it's windy and rainy is a challenge. But this bay has a really fine silt on the bottom, kind of like quicksand. So I'm taking these steps and having to unlodge each foot while trudging through the water. Well, that made 1 mile seem like endless miles. By the time I got to the shore, I was exhausted. All right, it's over here. This direction. Right here, right by this stump. Here it is. Bam! And once again, I've got 2 sets of coordinates. The quote on this one is, "Those who excel are those with friends who provide wise counsel." It's a good quote. Very fitting for the charity. Let's plug this guy in. My first set of dynamic coordinates will lead approximately 5 miles inland on the southernmost part of Tillamook Bay. So it's back to the jet ski to further our adventure. All right. Game on. Big Brothers Big Sisters works hard to create matches that have the potential to blossom into a strong, enduring friendship.
I feel he really got lucky with his big brother match. I think that Zachary's a really good match for him. They have like interests. They have the same kind of energy. They're technically savvy. They seem to be a perfect match.
We really have a great relationship. I feel like I couldn't have gotten a better person to be my brother than Zachary. It's just we really get along.
Basically, he's really into a lot of the same things that I was in when I was 13 and still am today. So that makes it nice that we operate sort of on the same level as far as our interests.
The activities that Bigs and Littles partake in are varied, but they all center around providing a positive and supportive relationship.
Sometimes we go to sporting events. I'm a pretty big Timbers fan, and I've kind of like slowly brought him into the fold. And sometimes, I mean, it's something just as simple as going and getting tea or coffee and just kind of hanging out and chatting.
With Big Brothers Big Sisters, it's less about the activity and more about the time together.
The reason this organization got started, and I think it's still the case, that everybody needs a mentor in their life. That's particularly true if you're a child, and that's particularly true if you're a child facing some adversity or some difficulties.
I don't have any brothers, so I'm not really sure what brothers and brothers do, but I'm pretty sure this is what they would normally do. Just cool stuff like this, hanging out, just having fun.
All right, good to go. I'm gonna dock up here, get my bag out of there, change back into my hiking clothes. I've already knocked off a couple of miles just by riding this to the southernmost point of the bay. All I'm gonna do now is get out and start hiking the rest of it. Let's do it. Coming up on The Wildlife. It is really slick out here, and I am surrounded by cliffs.
The Wildlife is presented by Next Adventure.
I've hiked nearly 5 miles from the southwest interior of Tillamook Bay to the north side of Netardt Bay, and I'm swiftly closing in on the first of 2 sets of dynamic coordinates. 150 feet to that first set of coordinates. Just come off the trail, but I finally got a break in the weather. Just a little bit of sun peeking through the clouds, but looks like it's gonna be rolling back in any second now. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. There's a wetsuit in here and some gear, PFD. So I'm gonna throw the gear on, put my new coordinates in, and then head out.
Julian was a little bit angry and frustrated, I think, when we first moved here. He didn't want to move, and he didn't want to leave his friends behind. And so having Zachary there for Julian has kept Julian, I think, afloat and given him the self-confidence that he needed to go out at school and kind of meet new people.
The role of the big brother or big sister is simply to be a friend. Folks aren't there necessarily to save that child or to fix that child or to be a parent. And it may not seem like a big deal, but it is a very, very big deal. And the impact that that friendship has on a child over time is extraordinary.
We came from, 600 plus miles away. We left everything behind. It's changed him. It took him from that angry teenager to a well-rounded, more balanced, excitable youth who's excited to see his big brother.
I don't feel like you can ever underestimate the effect that you will have on the little, as well as sort of the effect that the little will have on you.
Big Brothers Big Sisters changes the lives for everybody involved, clearly for the children, and it matters for the big brothers and the big sisters. I actually think it matters for all of us. It's one of those programs that touches a lot of lives, and the impact that has on our community is pretty significant and pretty widespread.
All right. I'm all suited up now, ready to go, but the tide's coming in. I'm starting to lose my little strip of land here, and the nice weather that I am experiencing briefly is about to pass. So I want to get to my next destination, which is a couple miles away, as fast as I can, because I don't want to be out there when this nasty weather starts rolling back in. To reach checkpoint 2, I will have to paddle out of Netardt Bay and into the ocean. From there, I will kayak what looks to be about 3 miles, return to shore, and search for my second checkpoint. I'm on my way out of the bay, and already this leg of the geocache is proving challenging. I've expended a lot of energy paddling against the current created from the incoming tide, and still have the most difficult stretch right before me. I have to navigate south along the coast, and the ocean waves love to play havoc with a one-man kayak. The waves were coming in like 5-foot sets, and they were coming every 5 seconds. So it's not like one of those days where you can go out there and just kind of paddle around, hit a wave, you've got lots of time to paddle. Launching through the surf takes strategy and a lot of energy. I am almost through the break zone, but with one more wave to conquer. This one was like swimming through a washing machine. It put me through the ringer, but it was worth it. Now that I'm past the surf, I can grind out the next 3 miles and locate my second checkpoint for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
The Wildlife is presented by Next Adventure.
I'm almost to the shore of Cape Lookout, and I'm exhausted because the last few hundred feet in the ocean were brutal. After catching a wave into shore, I was knocked out of my kayak, and every attempt to get back in failed. So I resorted to walking my vessel inland while enduring an endless pounding from the surf. When I last checked my GPS out there, it said that I was about 900 feet away from my checkpoint. So it's somewhere up here in the tree line. I hope this is the last checkpoint. 'Cause these are the moments where you gotta just dig deep. Remember what you're doing this for. This one's for Big Brother, Big Sister. Just gotta get there, get my next checkpoint, get moving. Big Brothers Big Sisters works with its matches to cultivate fun and positive mentorships by providing access to a variety of activities.
Big Brothers Big Sisters does a really great job of sort of fostering the in-between, doing things like providing you with activities, occasionally getting free tickets to a play.
Big Brothers Big Sisters tries to provide everything from tickets to sporting events and movies to large-scale outings such as the annual Big Brothers Big Sisters picnic.
Real focus of our program is encouraging Big Brothers and Big Sisters to take the children out on adventures and new experiences and introduce them to activities that they probably haven't had a chance to do yet.
The organization also focuses on my kind of activity, getting out into nature.
We love things that are active. We love to provide opportunities for our matches to get out in the gorge and our natural environment and really enjoy that. And so we're always looking for new ideas. Sometimes folks will donate, jackets or something like that would really help with an outing like that. For a lot of our kids, they don't get a chance to take in some of these activities. At the same time, we don't want to ask our Big Brothers and Big Sisters to provide a lot of their financial resources. So these donations are really awesome. They make for a more vibrant match and honestly provide the kids an experience they otherwise wouldn't have.
It's got to be here. I'm just a few hundred feet inland on Cape Lookout, and my second checkpoint is hiding nearby. Yeah, it says that I'm right on top of it, so it's here somewhere. It says it's here. It's gotta be, oh, right here, right here. Ha! Above me the whole time. Next checkpoint. My next checkpoint is just over 1 mile to the south of my current location. It sits close in on the Cape Trail in Cape Lookout State Park, and I should be able to reach it by foot. When I opened the checkpoint, I was really hoping that this was the last checkpoint because I've spent so much energy just getting to this point, battling all the elements, battling the ocean, the trail, the weather. It feels like I should be done. Close to my final target. Should be right over here. Okay. It is really slick out here. Oh my gosh. And I am surrounded by cliffs. All right. Let's tread carefully now. That's got to be at least 500 feet straight down. What's this? Boom. All right. It says, your adventures have come to an end. Don't let your life slip by without leading the young to achieve great things. There you have it.
My exhausting adventure on the Oregon coast has come to an end. Now I just have to travel north, catch up with Big Brothers Big Sisters, and deliver my reward.
I just finished my adventure and I'm about to meet up with the people from Big Brother Big Sister. Now they've got a special event going on right now at the Hollywood Bowl, but I got a surprise for them. The spoils of my adventure. How you guys doing?
Really great.
Good. I have to resonate with you guys what it's like growing up and having a lot of difficulties at a young age. And I would not be where I am today if I didn't have a set of mentors that took me under their wing and really got me out there, got me going, got me motivated to go way beyond what I thought I was capable of. So having said that, we teamed up with Next Adventure and Comcast Sportsnet. And what we have here is we have a whole set of gear for you guys to take home tonight. We've got snow jackets, rain jackets, fleeces, and outdoor t-shirts for all of you guys to take home today. How do you like that?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Boom sauce.
Right here. When I opened the bags to give away these jackets, the kids were instantly excited. They were trying some on, they were taking them off, handing them to their buddies so that they could try them on. They got to walk away with brand new jackets right then and right there.
1, 2, 3. This is the Wi-Fi!
The Wildlife is presented by Next Adventure.